Welcome back. It's Kovacs Report. We've got a new #1 from Marvel, Black Cat. And I am excited to dive into this one because I love Black Cat. It's a great character, part of the Spideyverse, let's call it. So it's always fun. So we've got Adam Hughes cover here looking absolutely stunning. Now, I am going to go for this page by page. There will be spoilers, so please read the book beforehand if you don't want it spoilt. And as I always say at the beginning of every video, you're probably getting bored of it. If you like the video, give it a like, and please do subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel as big as I can. I need your help to do that, so thank you in advance. So we have a new creative team, Willow Wilson and Gleb Melnikov. So I thought, you know what? Black Cat hasn't been treated very well in recent times, but this is a new creative team. Let's put all that to the side and give them a fair crack at the whip. So we kick off at the night nurse's office. And if you don't know, the night nurse is someone who provides medical care to hero and villain alike. But once you set foot into a little office, it is like an amnesty area. There's no fighting. Everyone has to agree to behave. And that's why we see a mix of heroes and villains here. So we've got Killer Croc, or rather the Lizard. Just reviewed a Batman book. We've got the Lizard here, nursing his head with a bag of ice. We've got Daredevil chatting to this giraffe-headed guy, and our star of the show, Felicia Hardy, Black Cat, next to, I guess, Frogman with a broken arm by the looks of it. So there's a little attempt at humour here, which sort of went over my head a little bit. I thought, oh, please, 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 please get the humour right in this book. But it's kind of a 50-50 in it. It's a 50-50. Now, we get this much more confident Felicia Hardy that we've seen in recent time. And she really is kind of, I don't know, she seems like she's in a reasonably good place, you know, her mind. She's trying to get hold of Peter Parker. He's not returning her calls, so she thinks he's a bit of a jerk. Anyway, she's been on some kind of heist, and she's running away from the police who are chasing her across the rooftops of the city. And then she bumps into the Lizard, who promptly knocks her to the ground. Again, we get these little jokes as it runs through, and they kind of fall a little bit flat. I know what the creators are trying to do, but it's still feeling a little bit forced. Now, also to note, this is very almost fourth wall breaking. I say 3.5 wall breaking, right? Because she's telling us what's unfolding. And she keeps looking at the camera and sort of winking at us. It's very Deadpool-esque, but not fully fourth wall breaking. Now, it kind of like the idea. I kind of like the idea. I'm not sure if Black Cat's that kind of character. And I appreciate that attempt to bring us a little bit in, like we're part of the conversation. So I like that element of the book. Anyway, she's on her phone and she needs somewhere to hide out, basically, because the cops are getting close. So she wants to go to one of her safe houses. So she calls this chappie up. I'm not sure who he is, but I guess it's one of her sort of hired goons of some sort. And he says, "Yep, we've got a place where you can go, and here's we'll get you the passcode. Just get there." But there's a little bit of a hiccup because below the apartment that we're sending you to is a pet supply store, and the Lizard is crashing through the window at this point in time, robbing the place. Now, she just turns up and sort of says, "Hey, I need to get past you. Can you move out the way, please?" And this is where I find it a bit weird. It's very sort of nonchalant. I mean, if the Lizard came screaming out of a window and glass everywhere, you kind of like get out of his way, right? You know, you kind of wouldn't just sit there and say, "Look, excuse me, I'm in a bit of a rush. Can you get out of my way?" And it just feels a bit odd. It feels like it's really trying hard to be a little bit kooky, all right? And it just sort of doesn't work very well. And we get these little flashbacks to the surgery where she sort of looks at him, then looks at us, these little nods like, you know, interrupting my story. This is all your fault type of thing. And it's a bit strange because the cops are on the way, obviously, because this place is being robbed by a supervillain. And she's saying, "Can you get out of the way? Because my safe house is upstairs." Now, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because I'm not American, but I'm sure it happens the same here. Now, if the building below, okay, is broken into, the first people they're going to interview are the people that live above the building. So this safe house doesn't seem very safe to me now. Even if she gets out of costume, it's pretty evident she is, you know, the Black Cat. It's a bit bizarre. It's a really bit bizarre. Anyway, what they do is another little device that they're throwing into this book, which is supposed to be really kooky and funny, which is all right, but it kind of just goes, "Yeah, okay." You get that "yeah, okay" feeling, right? Is that he just makes his sort of noises, right? And she translates as such. You get these green panels where he goes, I know, hiss. And she translates to, "I'm not going to hurt them. I'm going to study them. Birds and reptiles have a common ancestor." And it's just like, Why? Why? So I don't know. Anyway, so he tumbles through her, and she sort of gets him in a very precarious position there, and she's keeps going on about he's in her way, and the cops are coming, you're ruining my night here, and it just drags out a little bit too long. He throws her off, and we get more comedy as he comes, absolutely bowling towards her. The sign falls off and pumps him on the head, which is how he got his bruise on his head, which is why he's at the night nurse with a bag of ice on his head. And that's pretty much how this book goes. It's really, really, really weird. And then we get a nod to what's going on in Amazing Spider-Man at the moment. We have the new version of Spider-Man. You watch my review to find out more. Brace yourselves. It's not a good one. And again, he's out of character as they're trying to sort of portray it across in the Amazing Spider-Man book. And he kind of virtually just blanks her really and flies off. We get these little, again, looks back at the camera to us as like, oh, what's his problem? It's a bit weird. Anyway, she gets home and she decides to have a bath. We get this gratuitous page of Black Cat in the bath. Now, I'm not complaining, but I mean, is it relevant to the story? I don't know. Then she talks about, here we go. She goes, don't get me wrong, all right? Because she's saying she's having a pretty good time at the moment. Don't get me wrong. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just saying this life isn't easy or as glamorous as you think it is. She says, I've got to work out all the time. I've got to do my hair every single night so it looks this way, in the morning when I get up. And I'm just thinking, why do we need to know this? We don't need to know your beauty regime. Anyway, she's in the bath. She realizes that, her arm's bleeding and she's got these massive gashes in it. So I don't think I would go and have a nice, relaxing bath at home, when my arm's been sliced up by the lizard. I'd probably go to a medical professional first. But no, she realizes that probably should have something to do with this. Anyway, she gets there. She gets pickpocketed on the way, but she's out of costume. She does nothing about it. Don't know why, but she doesn't. And she gets there, and we're back to where we've begun. And then we have this conversation, which again, it's just more and more and more of what's going on in her head and the story that's unfolded. She gets a tetanus boost, and then we get this moment where she goes, oh, she has this sort of brainwave. She goes, She goes, let me just read this. You realize that you depend on it. Okay. You realize that you depend on a system to survive, right? Chaos doesn't actually help you. You're not outside of it. You're part of it. So she's saying that, she's always been the rebel. She's always been that chaotic force. And when that chaotic chaos arrives, the system starts to change and break apart. You realize that, you depend on that chaos. So you're fighting a chaos that actually helps you to survive. So instead of fighting and trying to be the edgy rebel, she's going to try a new thing. Maybe her life would be a little bit more interesting. Even though she's quite happy now, there's something missing, and she's going to fight crime. And that's what this whole issue is. This whole issue is Felicia Hardy deciding to become a crime fighter. This whole issue. That's all it is. So again, we get all this weird looking at the camera, winking, fourth wall breaking stuff. It's not really adding much to the story. We get some real gentle humor, which it doesn't even, foster a little giggle here and there. And we've got a premise that she's going to fight crime now. But I guess that was kind of already half established in the other books at the moment, right? She's kind of doing good. She's working with Spider-Man to try and beat the bad guys. I don't know. It's just I don't know what it is. It just feels like warm water when you want it hot. I don't know. I just really don't know what more to say about this book. I think it's just forgettable. Really, I think it's going to be another one of those books which gets cancelled after the first trade or two. The art's nice enough. I mean, I do like the art actually. Gleb Melnikov has done a great job of the art. I'm not trying to dump on Willow Wilson at all really here. I just think this maybe would have been better for like a younger reader. I think this is a young reader's book. I don't think this is aimed at anyone over the age of 12, to be honest. Because it doesn't really do anything, really. The whole book is just this long-winded story of Felicia deciding that although she's kind of happy, she's got a few things going on in her life, she wants to go and fight crime now because maybe that's the missing piece of the puzzle. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Do let me know yours, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. But don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button.